Hello, and welcome back to G Fun Facts Online, your go-to source for the most amazing insights from the world of science. Today, we're diving deep into the world of one of the planet's most beloved creatures, the giant panda. You know them, you love them, those iconic black and white bears munching on bamboo. But did you know their existence is incredibly precarious? Fewer than 2,000 giant pandas are left in the wild, with around 600 in captivity. That's a shockingly small number. The main culprits? Habitat loss and fragmentation, thanks to human activities like building infrastructure, logging, and agriculture. And if that wasn't enough, pandas have a notoriously tricky reproductive life. Females have a super short fertility window each year, and captive males often aren't keen on mating naturally. All these factors, plus the risks of low genetic diversity in such small populations, mean we urgently need some fresh, innovative ideas to safeguard these amazing animals. And that's where something truly cutting-edge comes in: stem cell technology, specifically something called induced pluripotent stem cells, or iPSCs. It sounds complex, but it could be a game changer for panda preservation. So what's the big deal with stem cells? Well, these are truly remarkable cells. They have this incredible ability to self-renew, make more of themselves, and to differentiate, which means they can turn into various specialized cell types in the body. Think of them as master cells. Now, there are different kinds of stem cells, but for conservation, iPSCs are incredibly promising. Here's the cool part. iPSCs are made by taking adult somatic cells, like simple skin cells, and reprogramming them, essentially winding them back to a pluripotent state. Pluripotent just means they regain the ability to develop into any time cell type in the body. This is huge because it neatly sidesteps the ethical concerns tied to embryonic stem cells, which, as the name suggests, require embryos. For endangered species like the giant panda, using embryos is often a non-starter, both practically and ethically. For panda conservation, iPSCs open up a world of exciting possibilities. First up, enhancing genetic diversity. This is a massive challenge for small populations. When numbers dwindle, so does genetic variation, leading to problems like inbreeding and making the animals more vulnerable to diseases. iPSCs offer a potential solution. Scientists could generate gametes, that's sperm and egg cells, from the skin cells of pandas that are genetically underrepresented in the current population. Imagine that! These lab-created sperm and eggs could then be used in assisted reproductive techniques, like in vitro fertilization, to produce new panda cubs and significantly broaden the gene pool. Plus, we could cryopreserve iPSCs from a diverse range of pandas, creating a long-term genetic bank for future breeding programs. Next, there is assisted reproduction. The ability to generate sperm and eggs from iPSCs could be revolutionary for pandas that can't reproduce naturally. This would allow individuals who might otherwise be left out of breeding programs, maybe due to age, health issues, or even behavioral quirks, to still pass on their valuable genes. Creating fully functional gametes from iPSCs is still a complex scientific puzzle, but genetic technology is advancing so rapidly that this could become a viable conservation tool in the very near future. Then there's disease research and treatment. Pandas, like all animals, can get sick. Using iPSCs, researchers can grow specific cell types in the lab to create models of panda diseases. This means they can study how diseases work and test new drugs or treatments without needing to involve the pandas themselves directly. It's a more humane and often more efficient way to do research. And it's not just iPSCs. Another type of stem cell, called mesenchymal stem cells, or MSCs, which have regenerative properties, have also been isolated from pandas. These MSCs show great potential for treating injuries and diseases. For instance, scientists are exploring using something called extracellular vesicles, derived from fat tissue MSCs, to help repair skin wounds in keenling pandas. How amazing is that? And finally, tissue regeneration. iPSCs could potentially be used for tissue engineering, creating grafts to treat injuries like bone fractures or degenerative conditions in pandas. This could vastly improve their quality of life and their chances of survival. Now, this isn't just theoretical anymore. There have been some incredible breakthroughs. A really pivotal moment came in September 2024. Scientists, including Jing Liu and his lab at the Chinese Academy of Sciences, working with the Chengdu research base of giant panda breeding, successfully generated iPSCs from giant panda skin cells. This was a massive step. Previous attempts to create genuinely pluripotent cells from pandas had hit roadblocks. It turns out, what works for mice and humans doesn't necessarily work for pandas. The research team had to develop species-specific methods, figuring out the precise culture conditions and signaling pathways needed to keep these giant panda iPSCs, or GPiPSCs as they're called, in their powerful pluripotent state. These GPiPSCs were then shown to be capable of differentiating into the three primary germ layers, the endoderm, mesoderm, and ectoderm. These are the fundamental cell layers that go on to form all the tissues and organs in an animal's body. This confirmed their pluripotency and really opened the door for all sorts of applications. The immediate goals are to use these GPiPSCs for regenerative medicine to help treat sick pandas, and also to better understand their embryology and how they develop as fetuses. The long-term dream? To use these iPSCs to create primordial germ cell-like cells. These are the precursors to sperm and eggs. If successful, this could eventually lead to creating panda embryos entirely in the lab, a huge leap for assisted reproduction. Institutions like the Chengdu Research Base of Giant Panda Breeding and the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance Institute for Conservation Research are actively pushing forward with these kinds of biotechnological approaches. Of course, despite all this immense potential, using stem cell technology in panda conservation isn't without its challenges and ethical questions. First, there's the sheer technical complexity. Reprogramming and differentiating iPSCs require incredibly precise, species-specific conditions. Developing these protocols can be a long and difficult process, as the Panda iPSC story shows. And even when you can create gametes from stem cells, the efficiency of creating healthy, viable animals from them is still pretty low in many species. There's a lot more research needed. Then there are the ethical debates. While iPSCs largely bypass the ethical headaches of embryonic stem cells, using advanced biotechnology in conservation still sparks discussions about how much humans should intervene in natural processes. People raise concerns about potential unforeseen ecological consequences, and the moral questions around, essentially, altering the course of natural history. Cost and resources are also big factors. Stem cell research and its application in conservation need significant funding and have to navigate regulatory approvals. And let's be honest, funding for wildlife conservation applications often doesn't keep pace with what's available for human medical research, which can slow things down. And here's a really crucial point. Habitat is key. It's so important to remember that technological interventions like stem cell applications are not, and can never be, a substitute for traditional conservation efforts. Protecting and restoring panda habitats, combating poaching, though thankfully less of a threat now than it used to be, and ensuring overall ecological sustainability, these things remain absolutely paramount. Stem cell technology should be seen as a powerful complementary tool, something to be used within a much broader conservation strategy. So what's the future look like? The successful creation of giant panda iPSCs is a massive milestone, a real beacon of hope. The focus now is on refining these techniques, making the process of generating gametes more efficient, and exploring therapeutic applications for sick or injured pandas. Continued collaboration between conservation biologists, geneticists, and biotechnologists will be absolutely essential to keep pushing this field forward. And the cool thing is, the advancements we make in panda stem cell research can have much broader implications. The knowledge and techniques developed for pandas could potentially be adapted to help preserve a whole range of other endangered species facing the threat of extinction. In conclusion, while there are definitely challenges to overcome, stem cell technology, particularly the use of induced pluripotent stem cells, presents a powerful and incredibly innovative new path for giant panda conservation. By offering new ways to boost genetic diversity, assist with reproduction, and fight disease, This cutting-edge science is giving us a vital new toolkit in the ongoing effort to ensure not just the survival, but the eventual thriving of these cherished animals in their natural bamboo forest homes. That's all the time we have for today on G Fun Facts Online. I hope you found that as fascinating as I did. Join us next time for more amazing stories from the world of science. Thanks for listening.